Hello and welcome back to my channel, Juice It with Zita. Today I have something very spectacular for you. Today I will be talking about how I managed to lose weight and keep it off above the age of 40. I have a lot of passion about healthy lifestyles, especially for women who are above the age of 40, because once we hit 40, there are a lot of hormonal changes that take place in our bodies and we need to be on top of the game. So how have I managed to drop my weight to the weight that I had in my 20s? Yes, my 20s. And how have I managed to keep it off? The secret is intermittent fasting. What is intermittent fasting, you will ask? Intermittent fasting is otherwise known as time-restricted eating, but it has been popularized as intermittent fasting, which researchers say intermittent fasting refers to the more extended periods of fasting. What we will be referring to here today is time-restricted eating, which comprises of having a window of eating and a window of fasting within a 24-hour period. There are different time-restricted feeding strategies that are out there, but the most popular one is the 16-8, where you fast for 16 hours and you concentrate your feeding during an 8-hour window, and that is the one that I have been practicing for the past couple of years. If you look at the major world religions, you're going to realize that there is some form of fasting infused into their religious practices. For Christians, for instance, we know that Christians are required to fast 40 days before Easter. And for Muslims, they do fast during the month of Ramadan. So fasting is not something that is new. It's something that has been and it has stood the test of time. Also, what you will not realize is we naturally fast on a daily basis. When you go to bed, you're not eating. And if you sleep for 8 hours, which is the recommended hours to be in bed, you will be fasting for those 8 hours. So naturally, we fast during sleep. So fasting is not something that is impossible, because I know that when people hear about fasting, the first thing that comes to mind is, can I do it? It may be very difficult for me. But once you have this mindset shift and you know that it's something that our bodies were designed from an evolutionary perspective to do naturally, then that will help you to ease into time-restricted eating. What is very fascinating about this time-restricted eating is you do not have to count calories. You don't have to weigh quantities of macros. The only thing you need to keep in mind is your time. Am I in my feeding window or in my fasting window? And once you can determine that, it doesn't matter what you eat within your feeding window, so far as you restrict your eating within the 8 hours or whatever time you choose as your eating window. So it is very, very simple. And when you are picking your fasting window, it is very important to look at what the researchers around this are saying. What is popular is that you need to push it above 12 hours of fasting. And say 12 hours is that sweet spot where your body must have used up all the glucose in the bloodstream, your insulin levels are down to floor level, and then this is the time that your body starts accessing the stores of fat. And that is what we want. When your body can get to that point, to that metabolic switch where it no longer uses glucose for energy and now starts accessing the fat stores, you naturally start to lose weight. So 12 hours may sound very, very long for some people, but let me tell you this. If you go to bed for 8 hours and then you get up in the morning and push your breakfast, just say, I'm not going to eat breakfast when I get up. Say you get up at 7. So you say, no, I'm not going to eat breakfast. I'm going to keep busy for the first 4 hours in the morning. You're getting yourself ready for work. Maybe you put in a morning exercise. You're commuting to work. You get to work, you get busy. And then by 10 o'clock, you start feeling hungry. And that is it. You have already put in your 16 hours of fast. How do I do this? I have my morning routine where I exercise, I make up my bed, I shower, and then I start getting ready for work. I do have a morning coffee with some cream, very little cream, just trick my mind into thinking that my stomach is actually full. Then I have my lunch at noon, which is usually a healthy salad. Then I have dinner before 8 p.m. So that gives me 2 hours for some digestion to occur before I go to bed at 10. And so if I have my last meal at 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., and then I'm having my lunch at noon, so that gives me exactly 16 hours of fasting. This has worked for me, and it has helped me enormously, not only to keep off the weight, but also to manage my insulin resistance. So why is intermittent fasting very, very simple, or something that you should consider doing if you're trying to keep off weight or maintain your weight? The first thing is that it's very flexible. It's based on your schedule. If you want a 16-8, you determine what time you're starting your fasting period and what time you're starting your feasting period. It can either be, you can have an extended fast in the morning or an extended fast at night. So there is that flexibility, and that it totally depends on your schedule. Secondly, it is very simple. You don't need to count any macros. You don't need to weigh any food. You just need to ask yourself, if you see food, whether you are in your fasting window or in your feasting window. It is that simple. Thirdly, it is free. It is cost free, and actually you will save money when you are doing intermittent fasting, because you don't have to consider eating breakfast. You don't eat breakfast, and you don't have to pay for any food to be delivered to your doorsteps for you to cook. So you just cut off breakfast, and it's less costly, and it actually helps you to save money. Also, it helps you to save time. Think about getting up in the morning and struggling to prepare breakfast for yourself. That is time consuming. But if breakfast is already out of your list, you know that you're going to use that time for other things that are beneficial to you. So you don't spend any time to prepare breakfast. So you're saving time and you're saving money. And finally, intermittent fasting makes you feel good. Why is this so? Because your digestive tract is not at work, so it is on a break. And this gives your body the time to move resources from digesting food into the repair and growth stage. And this helps to build your immunity. And also, one thing that really pushes me towards committing to intermittent fasting is the mental clarity that you have. Because your digestive system is not at work, you have tons of resources that are available, and you now have energy that is directed to your brain, and you have so much mental clarity, and you can do so much in your fasting window, especially in the mornings and at work, because you are not feeling full, tired, and your digestive system is at work. So these are the reasons why intermittent fasting is very, very important. You know my schedule, how I have implemented intermittent fasting into my lifestyle, and how it has helped me to maintain the weight I had in my 20s, even after having 3 kids, and I am getting to 45. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good one. Bye.